Imagine walking alone in a foggy alley in London in 1888. The gas lamps flicker, eerie shadows cast on the cobblestone streets. You hear footsteps behind you. You turn around, but there's no one there. A chill runs down your spine. You quicken your pace, but this time the footsteps return quickly. And then, silence. Just before darkness engulfs you, a name is whispered in the air. Jack the Ripper. This is the story of one of history's most notorious serial killers. A man, or perhaps a monster, stalked the streets of Whitechapel, leaving a trail of blood and a mystery that has never been solved. The day was August 31st, 1888, and the body of Mary Ann Polly Nichols was found on Box Row. Her throat had been slit twice, and her stomach had been mutilated with deep, precise cuts. The brutality was unlike anything the city had ever seen, but that was only the beginning. A week later, on September 8th, another woman, Annie Chapman, was discovered on Hanbury Street. Her throat had been slit, and her body had been horribly mutilated. It was clear, the murderer wasn't just killing, he was butchering his victims. Panic gripped Whitechapel. Rumors spread. Who was this man? Why was he doing it? And, most terrifyingly, when would he strike next? The murders were covered in the press all day, and the police struggled to find clues. Then, on September 27th, a letter arrived at the Central News Agency. Written in red ink, it bore a name that shocked everyone. It read, Jack the Ripper. The letter mocked the police, claiming that more murders were coming. He even joked about eating the flesh of his victims. Who was it? And why was he doing it? No one knew for sure. Then, on September 30th, Elizabeth Stride was found dead in Dutfield Yard. Unlike the others, her wounds were less serious. Some believed that Jack was stopped before he could complete his terrible deed, but the real horror was yet to come. Just an hour later, another woman, Catherine Eddowes, was discovered in Mitre Square. This time, the Ripper's work was even more disturbing. He carved her face, removed her limbs, and disappeared into the darkness of the night without a trace. And then, another letter arrived. This time, the letter contained a piece of a human kidney, the sight and hearing of which left the whole of Whitechapel frozen in fear. Then on November 9th, the most horrific murder of all took place. Mary Jane Kelly, only 25 years old, was found in her small room on Dorset Street. But this was different. This time, the Ripper had all the time he needed. The scene was so horrific that even experienced police officers were sickened. Mary Jane was completely disfigured, her body almost unrecognizable. It was as if the killer was taking his time to create some kind of distorted masterpiece. The killing stopped after Mary Jane Kelly. Jack the Ripper disappeared as mysteriously as he had come. Some believe the Ripper was a doctor, a master of anatomy. Others think he was a member of the royal family, even a famous painter. But no one was ever caught. History has shown us that serial killers do not suddenly disappear. If the Ripper's method is completely different from others, so the next time you walk alone at night, remember those footprints behind you. Because some nightmares